What's up, guys? It's your boy Devon Taylor here, aka Deezus, and this is my podcast, Deezus Take the Reel. No, this is not a religious podcast. It's a podcast where we're talking movies, we're talking life, we're talking all sorts of weird, crazy ass shit. And this episode is no different. Actually, it is very different, as you can see with the time code. This is a mini episode of shorts, of sorts, but I guess a mini episode of shorts also makes sense. What's up, guys? Yeah, this is a not extra, but this is a very weird episode of Deezus Take the Reel. It's a short episode just because I didn't want to take a break, but I have been just so busy lately with, recording stuff for this show. I have some crazy news coming up. I have a lot of other stuff to talk with you guys about, and I have a lot of recordings this week, and I've just been super busy, guys, and this is a good thing. Your boy is a working man right now. But yeah, I just didn't want to take a break, but I also have some fun stuff to tease. But I'll also not only give you some news about what's going on with the show, I'll give you some news about what's going on in the world of movies as well, because, this is a movie podcast, and, I like talking about that shit. Speaking of talking, I'm very sorry that I sound very nasally right now. Allergy season has its big old dick shoved in my nose right now. I'm not fucking happy about it. I hate spring, guys, and I'm also very sorry for that visual. It's totally a thing. Nose jobs are a thing. There is porn out there for everybody, guys. Sorry, this is a weird way to start off the show, but, just need to warn you in advance because I sound like shit right now, in case you didn't already think that I sounded like shit on any other podcast. I got a really funny complaint the other day. Like, I've always found my voice annoying, but I got called out by someone else listening to my podcast the other day saying my voice was annoying, and it was really funny. But anyways, I'll hit you with the movie news first. There's because I don't really get to talk news on this show, but this show is kind of turning into this late night talk show of sorts. I figured with a short episode, why not knock out a few of these news topics? So let's go ahead and get into it. First off, Man of Steel 2, they have been eyeing Matthew Vaughn as the director. Matthew Vaughn, as you know, directed X-Men First Class. He directed Kick-Ass, he did Kingsman. Matthew Vaughn is a super talented director, obviously. He makes fantastic movies, and they are eyeing him for Man of Steel 2. Back in 2015, when he was doing press and such for Kingsman, he did mention how he wanted to do a Superman movie. I believe he also wanted, he wanted to do Man of Steel, or he wanted to do Superman Returns. I can't remember which one, but he wanted to do a Superman movie, and he got turned down, actually. I think it was Man of Steel 2, actually. Man of Steel, and they turned him down, and he went and made Kingsman, and then DC said, oh no, come back. And so Matthew Vaughn's being eyed for this, and I love Matthew Vaughn. I love all of his movies. I think he's super talented, but at the same time, I don't want him doing this because, one, I don't think he will fit the current Superman we have. If we were starting over and he got to do his own Superman story, then I'd be all in. Go ahead and let Vaughn direct that. But since it is the Snyder Cavill Superman that we have right now, I just don't think Vaughn, his filmmaking sensibilities would fit the tone of the DCEU right now, except for the violence. But, Matthew Vaughn would make more sense for a Batman movie, not a Man of Steel. But I don't know. That's just me. I'm also not a big fan of Superman either, so I'd rather see Matthew Vaughn do something a little bit cooler. Do something original. All of his stuff has been based off of other people's superheroes. I mean, he's done literally now X-Men. He's done Independent with Kick-Ass, because that was also still based off of a comic book. And now Man of Steel and Kingsman is based off of a graphic novel or a graphic comic book. I can't remember. So it's like, I'd rather see Matthew Vaughn do something original, step away from some of these bigger franchises. I know it's hard to ignore the dollar signs, Matt, but give us something original, because I think Matthew Vaughn's a super talented director that, to my knowledge, I can't think of any 100% original works that I've seen of his. So I would recommend that, Matthew Vaughn, do something original. To the next piece of news, Beauty and the Beast live action remake just come out, so people are talking remakes and reboots as usual, because fucking Hollywood can't, come up with any original ideas, so they want to keep remaking all these old movies to continue to make lazy money. Remakes do have a place, a reboot, if you have a movie that had a really good premise, but the execution didn't work out, or if you have a movie that you can improve, technology-wise, or if you have a very dated movie that you can update to modern times. There are places for remakes, and some of the best movies in the world are remakes. If you don't know, 1982, John Carpenter's The Thing. is a remake of a previously filmed The Thing. Scarface is a remake. The Fly, David Cronenberg's The Fly, also a remake. So there is a place for remakes. I do like remakes if they're necessary. Was a live action remake of Beauty and the Beast necessary? Who knows? It's making money, so who gives a shit? So the next one on the docket is apparently there are being talks of doing a Matrix reboot. Now, this one I'm not happy about. This movie came out in 1999. It broke ground technologically, as far as the filmmaking process, but also in the way that sci-fi films are made as well. The Matrix broke so much ground. It launched Keanu Reeves to a whole nother level of stardom. And but the first Matrix is fantastic. I rewatched it again a couple months ago I did an episode with Andrew, and I rewatched The Matrix, and it 100% holds up today. So what's the reason to remake it? The sequels were not good, but if you just take The Matrix standing on its own, it's one of the best sci-fi films of all time, and the effects very much so still hold up because so much of it was done with practical stunt work and just cool camera tricks. So, I mean, the movie holds up, so I can't wrap my head around why there needs to be a reboot. However, there's also rumors that could be a Morpheus prequel. They've been talking about Michael B. Jordan being tied to this project, and it could be a Morpheus prequel. Who knows? I would rather have the Morpheus prequel than the Matrix reboot, but also, let's not go back into that world. The Wachowskis ruined it. It's done. It's soiled. There's no reason to go back to it. Let's just watch the original Matrix on its own. It's still fantastic, so I don't see any reason to remake it. But you know what? Whatever. We live in a world of remakes and reboots. Speaking of which, of course, the third story is related to a remoot. A remoot. I like that word. A remake, a reboot. We're just gonna call it a remoot. But anyways, the next reboot movie coming out, we have a Power Rangers movie, and I've been super excited for this. This new live action, this new take on it. It kind of has this Chronicle vibe to it. It's getting good reviews so far. I'm super excited. And one of the stories coming out is, Power Rangers has been praised for its very diverse cast. And so it's already been reported that the Blue Ranger is going to have a form of autism, which will be interesting to see play out on screen. We haven't really seen an autistic superhero portrayed on screen. But the biggest story is the Yellow Ranger is noted to be lesbian. She's gay. We have our first LGBTQT superhero in a film, in a big budget film. And yes, I know it's a bit of a stretch to call Power Rangers superheroes, but that's what the articles are hyping it up as. But it's super cool. Like, I am super excited. I love the representation that we're getting in this movie because, I mean, just out of the 5 Power Rangers alone, only 2 of them are white. So, I mean, this is going to be super exciting. We're going to have some very interesting dynamics in it. However, I have a bone to pick with these movie companies because, again, going back to Beauty and the Beast, they did a similar thing. They announced that LeFou was going to be gay, and then they hyped up that there was supposed to be a moment, and then people were freaking out. Movie theaters were pulling Beauty and the Beast from their theaters. Obviously, it didn't make a difference because Beauty and the Beast is still making fucking hella money. But, they caused this big old fiasco, literally 2 weeks before the movie was released after they started making these reports about LeFou. And then I went and saw Beauty and the Beast, and yes, you can tell he's gay. And if they wouldn't have said anything, plenty of people would have been able to pick up and go, yeah, LeFou was definitely gay. And this, I'm doing my air quotes, guys, this moment that happened never really actually happened. There was really nothing that happened. No reason that this movie should have been pulled from any theaters. Like I said, it was more of just if you watched it, you would pick up on it and go, okay, LeFou's a little bit different in this one, but when you think about it, in the original Beauty and the Beast, LeFou still a little gay in that one too, so there was no surprise. So connecting this with the Power Ranger story, it's just why make a report about it? Why say something about it, especially the week of? You know how much I would have loved to have went and saw this Power Rangers movie and just found out about it, just in the movie, especially because I won't spoil it for you guys because I accidentally read how the scene plays out, how we figure this out in the Power Rangers movie. And from the way the scene is described, I really wish I didn't read it. I really wish I would just watch the movie, and it would have been a very fun, cool reveal for the movie. So it's just why make a big deal of it? Because it's never going to stop being a big deal in Hollywood and movies if we don't keep if we don't stop making it a big deal. Like, it will always become a big deal if we make a report out of it, if we make news out of it. This is not news. It should just be a thing in a movie. It should be just as casual as saying, hey, this character is Jewish, or hey, this character is black. It should be literally as easy as that. However, nonetheless, I'm super excited. Like I said, this Power Rangers movie, it looks straight out of my childhood. I fucking loved the Power Rangers. I grew up on it. And so far, I'm loving what it's looking like with this modern retelling. I love the diverse cast. I'm super fucking pumped by it. I just wish they didn't make a big deal of it because they didn't need to. But I think that'll go ahead and do it for this news section, for the movie news portion. But I have so much news about Deezus Take the Reel as well. I'm not going to waste too much time about it. I'm just going to fly through, letting you know what's going on with the show, what's coming in the next couple of weeks, and some news about some other places I'm going to be popping up on. So, first off, next week is the first ever live episode of Deezus Take the Reel. Like I said, Deezus Take the Reel is kind of turned into this late night talk show, and I love that vibe for it. So I was like, okay, the next step is I want to have an audience. I want to record an episode with some friends or in front of people and kind of make it a live event every month or so. I think that would be super fun. So I'm going to start small. Me and some friends are having a little movie night this weekend, and then we will watch a movie, and then right afterwards I will record an episode with them here. A very small live audience. Tyler will be helping me host it. Chance will be on the show a little bit. And just like usual, we'll talk about whatever movie we watch, but we'll play games with it. We will tell stories, and we'll be all drinking and having fun. And I will actually do a video portion for this as well. So you can watch live along with us on YouTube. I will put a link on my YouTube channel, and this will be Saturday night around 9:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. But it will drop on the podcast feed on Tuesday, just like every other episode. But this is super exciting. It will also be Deezus Take the Reel number 20, my 20th episode, and I'm super excited about it. So this is a small step towards hopefully doing, bigger and better live shows down the road. So make sure you are around for that. So yeah, get excited for the live show that's going down this weekend. Also going down this weekend, Paul Scheer from How Did This Get Made and The League. He's going to be in my town this weekend. He's guesting on the Mystery Hour, a local talk show here in my town, and he's going to be in town. And, I've been tweeting at him a little bit, and not going to lie, it'd be pretty cool if Paul Scheer would come on the show. So guys, if you're listening to this, tweet at Paul Scheer and see if he wants to come on the show, because I may casually keep dropping very, shameless tweets at him and see what happens, because you never know. Because really, that's the biggest thing with podcasters. It's like, I've learned, you just ask, and sometimes they say yes, sometimes they say no. So who knows, maybe Paul Scheer might show up on the show next week. I'm gonna not make a big deal out of it, so that way whenever it does happen, I can be like, holy shit. Anyways, talking about some other stuff coming up, guys. So ever since I've started the show, I've been trying to figure out ways to get the show out there more, to get the show out there, to get my voice out there. And your boy has been working. He's been working real hard. He's been busting his ass. And whenever I say busting his ass, that means me sitting on my laptop or phone for hours on end in my room with no pants on. So, as hard as I could be working, I guess. But anyways, I've been checking out, different networks and stuff, and I found this one network. It's called CoreTempArts Network. It's a podcast network. It has a bunch of different cool shows on it, and I started listening to a couple of the shows, and I started talking to one of the podcasters. Shout out to Peter for hooking me up, and he put my name in. He put my name into the person that runs CoreTempArts, and about me doing a segment on their podcast, TV Ate My Brain. TV Ate My Brain is a podcast where they recap popular shows that are on TV right now. And every episode on TV Ate My Brain is a different TV show that they're covered by a different host. They have like a rotating panel of hosts over at CoreTempArts, and they all pick their favorite shows that they watch, and they cover the show for the podcast. So I got approached about covering a couple shows. So I will be covering season 3 of iZombie. That is literally my favorite show on TV right now. It's super underrated. So I'm ridiculously excited to be able to talk about it. Like, I was almost going to do like my own recap show of iZombie. But I love that what CoreTempArts has going on. I love the way that TV Ate My Brain works because, if there's some other shows that you're watching that you want to get some recap thoughts on, they're covering everything. They have covered Flash, Legion. They have a whole other podcast covering all Shonda Rhimes' shows, or covering Nashville. They covered Frequency. They did the new edition BET special. They're doing Netflix specials as well. I will be also covering 13 Reasons Why. That is the 13 episode Netflix series that's coming out based on the book by Jay Asher. A book that I absolutely loved back in high school, so I'm excited to talk that one as well. So, guys, go over to CoreTempArts podcast network, check them out, subscribe to TV Ate My Brain because your boy is going to be putting some stuff up on there pretty soon. 13 Reasons Why comes out the 31st, so I'm going to try and get most of those episodes done all in the first week. So March 3rd, or as early as March 31st, April 1st, go over to TV Ate My Brain and check out 13 Reasons Why, and then iZombie comes back April 4th. So also that'll be whenever I start doing my recap shows for iZombie. I'm going to do a season 1 and 2 recap as well before it actually goes up. So sometime next week, I should have some stuff up there, guys. So go over to CoreTempArts podcast network and subscribe to TV Ate My Brain. And speaking of CoreTempArts podcasts, that brings me into I'll be appearing on a bunch of different podcasts in the next month or so. I love recording the podcast, but I can only put so many episodes of Deezus Take the Reel up. So I've been hopping around on other podcasts, just making friends in the podcast community because I absolutely love it. The podcast community rules. And one show that I'll be popping up on is a CoreTempArts podcast. It's called We Got Five. I gave a shout out to Peter. He's one of the hosts of the show, and we're going to be talking our top superhero castings. Another really fun show that I already recorded, and that's already up on iTunes, is Cunch of Bunts. Cunch of Bunts is a podcast of 3 guys. They're from South Wales, like across the pond, literally. And we had a good time talking about some hypothetical situations. We got to talk about Nightmare Before Christmas. If I would ever do a sequel for it, and then they pitched me some movies. We had a good-ass time on Cunch of Bunts, so go check that out. It was super funny. And then I will be popping up on the Random Insanity podcast. That's a podcast hosted by these 2 crazy ladies, and it's literally exactly that. They are so awesome, and they have these just random, insane conversations, so that'll be a whole lot of fun. And then I'll also be popping up on the Horror House podcast. I'm trying to make my rounds on these horror podcasts because obviously I'm kind of obsessed with horror movies lately. And that is hosted by Morgan Robinson. That is on YouTube. And we'll be talking about literally my recent obsession with horror movies and what got me into them. And then, I'll be popping up on a bunch of other different podcasts. Just follow the podcast Twitter page, Deezus TT Reel, or my personal Twitter page, Deezus12, and I'll be letting everybody know where I'll be popping up on, and a cool app that will actually be tracking that. There's a new app out called Laughable, and Laughable is where you can keep track of your favorite podcasters and comedians, and not only keep track of their podcast, but like all the podcasts that they're appearing on as well. I think that's a super cool app. It's in its very early stages now, so I'm trying to hop on that now. So download the Laughable app and then search for Deezus, and I will come up, and then you can follow me and see all the shows that I'll be popping up on. Like I say, guys, your boy is super fucking busy lately, and this episode, like I said, is a little bit shorter just because I have a whole lot of other stuff that I'm working on. I have some episodes that I could have, put up this week, but I'm giving myself a little bit of a break because, I think I deserve it. Coming up on Deezus Take the Reel, though, so like I said, next week we have the live show. Week after that, we have Screen Junkies producer Lon Harris will be coming on the show. We are good friends on Twitter, and we talk movies all the time. He's one of my favorite people to talk movies with. So that will be a super fun episode. We will be talking about some serial killer movies. I'll let you guys know what those movies will be here in the future. And then the week after that, I'll be doing another crossover with the More Gooder Than podcast. They're a movie podcast where they compare 3 different movies, and it's kind of like how we do it here on Deezus Take the Reel, but theirs is a little bit more movie centric. But they are some very fun guys. I think Chris from the More Gooder Than podcast will be on the show. So guys, there is so much fun stuff coming up. I'm like I said, I've been just so busy doing so much podcast stuff, and I am super excited to just let you guys know where I'll be at. And Deezus Take the Reel has a lot of really fun stuff stuff. I got a bunch of other guests lined up. Like, I literally have guests lined up through the next, like, month and a half, which is super excited because people, like coming on the show. So we are going to have some more guests, more solo episodes. This live show is going to be dank as fuck. So make sure you watch live on YouTube or check it out. And make sure you are spreading the dope word, guys. Deezus Take the Reel every Tuesday. Peace out, motherfuckers. Let me just pause this shit real quick. Thank you guys once again for listening to Deezus Take the Reel. New episodes every Tuesday. If you like what you're listening to, make sure you're following along on Twitter at DeezusTTReel. Retweet and share with all your homies. iTunes reviews, 5-star reviews, get you a shout out on the show. And make sure you stay tuned after the music for a little pre-show banter. Thank you very much. Now back to the dope music.
Tell me more, Daddy.
So I can't see.
Tell me more,
It's stupid.
Daddy. I know.
All right, whatever. I guess I'll just deal if it's not good levels. Don't worry, Tony. I'll just deal with it, I guess.
I'm on your level, right? I haven't changed that much, right?
Okay, that's good.
Are we
That's
good?
Better, yeah.
Mic check. Mic check.
And if you drift away, I'm just gonna throw something at your face.